We got some news today. There's been some. There's
Bloodborne's out now.
Bloodborne.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
If you're listening to this after we post it, which is
Yeah.
the only way to listen to it.
That's cool.
You're probably
listening
already
to it now.
dying in it, and you're angry at it right now.
Yeah, you definitely.
Yeah.
There's some Kojima drama. I'm still
Kodrama.
Kojima. Yeah.
Kodrama.
Hideo Kodrama. Yeah. Hideo K-drama. Yes.
Watch the video to see me shaking my head,
I don't
since
know.
you can't hear it unless I do it hard enough.
You should get some cool earrings that jingle when you shake your head.
They would be the loudest things in the world.
And then there's God of War 3 has been remastered.
Finally.
Oh, good. Yeah. What do we want to talk about?
We should start off with Bloodborne.
What's up with Bloodborne?
That's all I want to talk
I'm actually,
about.
This is out now. Is it? Is
Yes.
it
Yeah, so
officially
it's out.
formally? Okay.
And Mitch, you're playing it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marty, you're playing it?
Yeah, I'm playing a ton of it. Brandon Tyrell is the unfortunate IGN soul who has to be reviewing it.
True.
Yeah, and if you're listening to this on Tuesday or Wednesday, our review in progress is up.
Yep.
Because this game is massive.
Yeah.
We did not get it very far in advance,
It's
and it has
spooky.
an online component, and it's spooky, I guess. That's why we do review in progress, is 'cause
Yeah.
it's too
It's
spooky.
too hard.
That's
Too
spooky
for
spooky
you.
to score.
But yeah, so you guys haven't played it.
Actually, yeah. We got like a limited number of copies.
Yeah.
And it's an incredibly dense game, and everyone's trying to like just take their time
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
it. And
Yeah,
We're
this
doing a
one-
live stream of it tomorrow.
Yeah. That's right. We're doing
Yeah.
that. Yeah. We get to play the game.
It's gonna be
the day it's out, you mean.
Blood Bros.
Yeah.
What?
I'm gonna.
The day it's out or Wednesday?
Die.
Tomorrow. Oh, today.
There we go.
Yeah.
The day this goes live.
So what the actual game? What do you guys? What do we?
I think.
Sup?
I mean, there's a few sticking points. The first thing is everyone's like, "Oh, did they dumb it down? Is it a baby game? Is it easy?"
Nope.
Yeah, the game is difficult as all hell.
I would say in many ways it's harder than Dark Souls.
Yeah, it's harder. There's a lot of things that are more opaque than Dark Souls.
Yep.
There's a bunch of things in the game that I still have no idea how systems work or how these enemies are working or what is going on in this world. They're invisible. I mean, I guess so. There's going to be spoilers a little bit. We're not going to spoil a ton.
We're
but
not super far.
Yeah, if you want to go in super blind, don't listen for the next 10 minutes or so. But there's areas where I stumbled upon an area last night where there's this like blue glowing thing, and I was like, oh, what's over there? And I ran over there, and all of a sudden like an invisible old god grabbed me, pulled me up in the air. It said I went into frenzy mode, and then I died. And I was like, I don't know any of the things that just happened, and I died. I'm like, okay, well, I now know not to do that again.
See, I saw that and ran away.
Well, I like blue lights.
That's
So when I
fine.
played Bloodborne at Tokyo Game Show last year, I actually tried that, which was run like crazy and see how
Yeah,
far you
yeah,
can
yeah.
get before things just you turn around and there's 95 monsters running behind
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
And I kind of appreciate the fact that we constantly complain about how games have almost gotten easier, or actually they've definitely gotten
Yeah.
easier in the last 10 or 15 years, where there's checkpoints constantly and there are multiple difficulty levels, which apparently this game doesn't have.
It's just hard.
It just feels like this is very throwback to NES games, and now with multiple games like it before it, gamers have sent the message loud and clear that this is perfectly acceptable.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
okay. So they keep making these games harder and harder. And I'm hearing mixed things about The Office from some people in The Office, people who are like, it's unforgiving and it's not fun.
It's almost too hard. Like in many
Really?
ways, to your point about this being an NES game, like I think this is the perfect modernization of Castlevania, in that the way the levels are connected, right? Like you find a secret route, and oh man, that opens up a gate that's actually right near the beginning. So now I have this shortcut that lets me get way farther, way faster, and home to my checkpoint sooner. All that kind of stuff is great, but yeah, to that point, like. Checkpoints are in Dark Souls. You have bonfires that are pretty far apart, but they're not unmanageable. You could conceivably do it. You were talking about at TGS and just run.
Yeah.
Just try to run away from guys. Try to find the next bonfire and then go back and explore, which is what I did. Here, you have to not only one accomplish something, but two travel an enormous amount of distance to actually reach one of those checkpoints.
Yeah, and generally a lot of them are just right after a boss, so you have to get to a boss and then kill it.
Yep.
And then you can get a checkpoint.
So there were numerous times where I would spend 2 to 3 minutes commuting to a boss, instantly die, and then wait 40 seconds for the load times to respawn, because the load times are really bad.
Really?
Yeah, that's one. That's probably my least favorite part of it so far is 40-second load time, literal 40-second load times every time you die, which is often.
This is
And
what we're
then
playing off the disc and installed.
About
Wow.
20-second load times whenever you fast travel back to your hub world, which is you have to do whenever you want to buy something, whenever you want to level up,
upgrade your weapons.
Yeah, or warp around the map. And so there's a lot of time spent not playing the game.
So there's something I kind of want to touch on there. Like this is interesting for me. I think you basically just turned me off the game completely. Because like that's the thing is I'm okay with a challenge. Like I think it's I hate the time wasting. You know.
Yeah.
And it's one thing if you're like you have to go back and retread some area. Like debatable whether or not that's wasting your time. What I really hate is when a load time is a punishment for dying.
Yeah.
Like I think that's awful. I think that you look at
Super Meat Boy is the prime example of how to do it.
That and Trials.
Hotline Miami, for instance.
Yeah.
It's
Ollie.
like the thing that keeps me playing Hotline Miami Ollie is the fact that these are incredibly hard games, but I'm not being put on timeout.
You're back in half a second.
Yeah.
Like it's a literal button press and you're back. Sometimes
part of the
it's
reason
just.
it also kept me from getting really into multiplayer.
Do you guys remember the game Too Human?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember it had that sort of like
the
animation?
40-second animation of
Yeah,
you getting
and,
brought up to Valhalla?
I don't like. So are there a lot of load times between areas?
No,
or
there are none.
Okay.
So that's
And
the impressive thing.
That's the reason why it takes so long to load. Is like it is rendering the entirety of this space, which is one of the most beautiful video game worlds I've ever seen, and then you just go.
Because I think I would have preferred like little 5 seconds here, 6 seconds.
So would
there,
I,
like,
yeah.
nickel
Yeah.
and dime me.
Put me in an elevator, let me open a gate, then stop me, like whatever.
Yeah,
it
because I
takes.
think it's like or even just a really long initial load. Because I just feel like 40 seconds is
That's brutal.
It's a long time to be really angry, which is or disappointed with yourself.
I liked
you know?
Metal Gear Solid 4 for this because you would every time a new act started.
Oh, that was like a long, like
it would
multi-minute.
Yeah, it takes like 10 to 15 minutes to load the entire act. At which point it's like, all right, this is kind of perfect. Like I just finished a really great story moment. I'm gonna step away, get a drink, maybe get some food, come back, and then sit down and play this 6-hour chapter.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like we're hard. I mean, yeah, that's one of the major drawbacks of the game, but so far I'm absolutely adoring it.
Yeah, I mean, surprised. There's a lot of stuff to not like about a game that abuses you, but yeah, it's so
It sounds like
good.
it's just like a beautiful, lovely garden that's full of violent criminals. You're like, I
Yeah.
want to go look at the.
Oh my God.
They have they have the hydrangeas. They've got lovely flowers and they've got a topiary that's shaped like a bird. But there's a guy there who also will hit you with a tire iron and take your wallet. So
That's kind of what happens. Yeah,
Yeah,
dude,
totally.
smash your face open with bricks and you lose all your
stuff's different.
blood
I mean,
bucks.
I've put hundreds of hours into the Souls series, and the game is constantly surprising me with new things, with new enemy types, with new patterns, behaviors, systems, weird, obtuse things, awesome environments that you go to, incredible boss design. Yeah, the combat is faster and angrier. You have to really be on the offensive all the time. Like the people who don't like it in the office are the people who haven't. Like Dan Stapleton, our reviews editor, hasn't played the series, and he's finding it insufferable.
Yep.
But it's because he hasn't done that, and it's crappy. I get it. Like, it's one of those you have to have put like 30 hours in this series in order to get it. Which for some people, if they're like, nope, that's
See, I don't think that's
too
true
much.
because if you look at someone like Brendan Graber, who's doing our guide,
Yeah, he got it right
he's-
away.
He's never played a Dark Souls game, but he likes sophisticated, intelligent action games that respect his ability as a player, and for that reason, he's in love.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
he's actually getting a civil union.
They're getting married
with
Wow.
Bloodborne.
soon.
Yeah, in the hydrangea garden. the tire iron train hobos. Are
he's going to be officiating the wedding. He's just gonna,
Is it-
he's
is
gonna
it-
be beating
Congratulations
both of
to
them
him.
severely.
Is it unfair to expect that of a game like this? That's on a console that's as old as it is, like that
Wait.
people maybe haven't played previous
Oh.
games in the series.
I don't
Like
know.
that you need to have that sort of glutton for punishment or that discipline of torture.
I mean, the weird thing is like, it's one of those. It's like if you picked up a first-person shooter, if you picked up the new Call of Duty, and not only have you not played a Call of Duty game, but you haven't played a modern shooter. So a lot of like the vocabulary there is going to be very different.
Yeah.
Whereas this is so different than regular third-person action games. This is different
Right.
than Vanquish and Bayonetta and
It's not Ninja
DMC
Gaiden. It's
and
not
Ninja
God
Gaiden.
of
Yeah.
War.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm enjoying the hell of it.
I'm really curious about it.
Yeah.
Here's the sad confession. I'm going to confess to this, and someone's
Sure.
going to call me mean names. For
You
it.
ran over a guy one night and kept driving.
No, I'm proud of that. He was you had no right to be in that crosswalk.
You're the tire iron man in the garden.
Oh, the irony.
Oh, God.
The
tire
Are you
irony.
tired of it?
Boy.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brian.
Just shoot me.
Yeah, so the amount of Demon Souls I've played, or the Souls series in its entirety, the amount of Demon Souls I've played is when it was on PlayStation Plus. I was like, I'm gonna check this out because it's weird to be scared of something like that. Like it reminds me of being a little kid and being like, hey, what happens in this horror movie? Is it scary? But it's with a game where it's like, if I'm not gonna buy this because I don't want to like spend money on something that's just gonna beat me like horribly, so I got it for free and I'm like, I'll check this out. And up until that point, the only exposure I'd had was that amazing speed run that somebody did, which was like that was the first time I looked at a speed run and was like, wow,
Broke this game. Yeah.
So I tried to do that, which is I think it's amazing that it does let you do that to a certain
Yeah.
point. And then I was like, I'm gonna try to actually play it and play it, and I just got really impatient and just got over it pretty fast. I think it was like on a very, very kind of lackadaisical, just not really focused kind of afternoon.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I never went back and revisited because I was always kind of like, maybe I'll check out Dark Souls one of these days. But it's like I love the idea of the world. Everyone has told me that like there's that sense of things are hidden, and not just like it's an Easter egg or it's a hidden thing, but the fact that it really encourages the player to actually go out and discover. Yeah. Which is something that's really tragically absent from a lot of modern games.
Totally.
Yeah. And it's rewarding in that it benefits you. It's not just like, oh, you found the secret, good job. It's like, no, you found the secret, and now you have access to this entirely new, awesome area that routes back to your spawn point, so you can get here efficiently.
No, I mean, I love games that are bringing that back. Like, Don't Starve, for instance, does a
Totally.
good job of that, where it's like you don't know how it works, and there's that mystery. There's that kind of like Fez was kind of the same way, where it was like you have to talk to your friends about it.
Yeah.
It's not just something that's like, oh, it's in the wiki.
We have that exact like playground mentality right now.
Yeah, we have an email chain of everyone at IGN playing it. Every morning we're coming in and being like, oh, did you get to this thing? Did you see this thing? Like, no game in my time at IGN has really had that. Like, there's
Dark Souls 2.
Yeah. Dark Souls 2. Dark Souls 1 as well.
We had that with Heavy Rain to an extent because everyone was
doing different stuff.
Was doing different things.
Yeah.
Which was, I find that very fascinating.
Yeah.
But that's really awesome. Like I feel I'm kind of with Max in that I'm like really hesitant to get into it. Like I absolutely love the theme to it all, right? Like I love everything it's trying to, like I love that sort of rustic horror feel that it has. Like absolutely love
Artisanal horror.
Artisanal horror.
$5 toast.
Yeah, exactly. Like you make that into a movie and like I'm there opening weekend, but as a game that's like insufferably punishing me, like I'm kind of hesitant, but also maybe I'll wait a little while.
Just watch a speedrun.
You think so? No, I want to play it. I don't like doing. Honestly, like I hear that a lot where people are just like, "I'll just watch that game on YouTube," and I'm like, "That's
I'll just look at a picture of a sandwich on Instagram."
It's really not the same as playing it or tasting it.
Yeah.
No.
So I kind of want to hang back a little bit and wait until like people have sort of torn this thing open a little bit, and they can kind of be like, hey, you should do this here.
This is the character you should roll at the beginning. Yeah. This is the weapon you should choose.
Like, I mean, this is the ultimate first world problem, but we get a lot of games early at IGN, and we play them, and when you get stuck, you have to yell at your friend who hasn't written the IGN guide yet. And that's one of the first guides on the internet, and usually the most visible and sometimes the best, or hopefully the best. But when you play something early, you end up like in a situation like this where you're on an email chain. So maybe I'll wait until this has been torn open a little bit and then get in there.
Yeah, we're gonna be talking about this one for a while though.
Yeah. I like the fact that there are tips and tricks. They're back.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Like for so long, it was kind of your ability to be good at a game was not your understanding of the game itself, but it was like, can you push the button fast enough? You know?
Yeah.
Are you? It's like there's that Twitch. There's that Twitch gaming. There's that kind of either it's RTS, action per minute or whatever, that kind of approach, or it's just like, oh, I like drilled a hole in my controller and put a screw through there, and now I can shoot guys in the face faster unless they nerf the M14 or whatever.
Well, a lot of games in the last 10 years have really been about the sheer just ability perseverance of getting from checkpoint to checkpoint, which I feel like obviously is here to an extent, but it's less so like kill 50 guys and proceed to the next wave, and it's more just like you have to actually survive this.
Yeah.
Like this is a lot more work than just like you did it, you got to the next thing, you did it, you got to the next thing, and now the game's over. Like a lot of games feel like that, where it's just sort of a straight line through something. So this is interesting.
Yeah, we're gonna.
I'm terrified and fascinated, and
there's so much to unpack in this game. We're gonna be doing that for the next month or so.